Here's something interesting about this video. The people who need this the most are the ones most likely to click off in the next 30 seconds. Because the same part of your brain that makes you scroll compulsively is the same part that's going to tell you right now that this video is too slow, too long, that you've heard this before, that there's probably a better video about this somewhere else. That's not you making a decision. That's your addiction protecting itself. So stay, because what I'm about to tell you is genuinely different from every other piece of advice you've heard about this. First, I want you to do something right now. Think about the last time you picked up your phone, not because you decided to, but because your hand just did it. You weren't bored exactly, you weren't looking for anything specific, your hand just reached over and the phone was in your face before your brain had consciously agreed to that. How many times does that happen in a day? 10 times? 30? Most people genuinely have no idea because it's so automatic they don't register it as a choice anymore. It stopped being a choice a long time ago. And that's the actual problem. Not that you scroll, that you don't decide to scroll. It just happens. And here's the thing nobody tells you, something that happens without a decision cannot be stopped with a decision. That's why every single time you've told yourself, I'm going to use my phone less today, it hasn't worked. You're using conscious willpower to fight something that isn't happening consciously. That's like trying to stop your heart from beating by deciding very firmly that it should stop. The tool doesn't match the problem. So let me explain what's actually happening inside your brain, because once you see this, you cannot unsee it. Your brain runs two systems at the same time. There's the deliberate system, the part that sets goals, makes plans, thinks about who you want to become, slow, thoughtful, rational. And there's the automatic system, the part that runs habits, responds to triggers, executes familiar patterns without asking your permission, fast, efficient, completely indifferent to your goals. And in any competition between slow and fast, fast wins, every single time. This is why you can genuinely want to stop scrolling, meet it completely, and still find your phone in your hand 20 minutes later without remembering picking it up. Your deliberate system made a decision. Your automatic system simply ignored it and did what it always does. The only way to actually win this is to stop fighting the automatic system with willpower and start reprogramming it at the level where the behavior actually lives. And to do that, you need to understand what's triggering it in the first place. Every automatic behavior has a trigger, something that fires before the behavior happens, usually so fast you don't consciously notice it. For most people, the scrolling trigger isn't boredom in the way people think. It's not, I have nothing to do. It's something much smaller and much faster than that. It's the microsecond of discomfort that happens when stimulation stops. Not deep discomfort, not pain, just a tiny, barely perceptible moment of blankness. Your brain hits half a second of nothing, and before you've registered it, the automatic system has already reached for the phone. It's not looking for entertainment, it's escaping emptiness. Even the most temporary, harmless, completely fine emptiness. This is the real reason all the standard advice fails. Delete the apps, you find yourself opening the browser instead. Set screen time limits, you override them the moment they pop up without even thinking about it. Put your phone in another room, you walk to the other room and get it. Because none of those things address the trigger. The discomfort of blankness is still firing. You just added a minor inconvenience between the trigger and the behavior, and a minor inconvenience is nothing to an automatic system that's run this pattern 10,000 times. It barely notices. So, here's what actually works. And I need you to pay attention here because this is where this video becomes different from everything else you've watched about this. You need to train yourself to sit inside the discomfort of blankness without escaping it. Not through willpower, through practice. The exact same way you'd train any physical skill, deliberately, repeatedly, in small doses until your nervous system learns through direct experience that emptiness is not a threat and does not require immediate escape. What you're actually doing is retraining the trigger itself. You're teaching your automatic system through direct, repeated experience that the blankness is not dangerous, that it does not need to be escaped, that sitting inside it is survivable and actually fine. And as that lesson gets absorbed, slowly, over days and weeks, the trigger loses its grip. The automatic reach for the phone weakens.
Not because you got stronger willpower, because you dissolved the thing that was launching the behavior in the first place. This is exactly why exposure therapy works for anxiety and phobias. You're not arguing with the fear or trying to think your way out of it. You're sitting inside it calmly until your nervous system gets bored of treating it as a threat. Same mechanism, same result. But there's something else you have to be honest about, and most people skip this part completely because it's uncomfortable. Scrolling isn't just a bad habit you randomly developed. It's giving you something real that you actually need. It gives you stimulation when your brain is understimulated. It gives you a sense of connection when you're lonely. It gives you instant distraction when something in your life feels too uncomfortable to sit with. It gives you the feeling of being included, informed, entertained. These are legitimate human needs. And if you just remove the scrolling without addressing what it was doing for you, you will be miserable and you will be back to 3 hours a day within a week, guaranteed. So you need to get honest about what your scrolling is actually solving. Think about when you reach for your phone most. First thing in the morning, before you've even said a word? That's anxiety management. You're flooding your brain with stimulation before the weight of the day can land on you. Mid-task, when something gets difficult? That's avoidance. The friction of the hard thing triggered the escape response. Before sleep, when you should be winding down? That's loneliness, or an inability to be alone with your own thoughts in the quiet. Late at night, when you know you should sleep but can't stop? That's almost always emotional avoidance. Something you don't want to feel is sitting in the silence, and the phone is the only thing keeping it quiet. Each of these moments needs a real replacement, not just a blocker, a replacement that actually meets the same need. Morning anxiety doesn't get fixed by leaving your phone in another room. It gets fixed by giving your morning a structure that makes you feel in control before the day starts. 5 minutes writing down 3 things you're going to do today before you touch any screen. Work avoidance doesn't get fixed by screen time limits. It gets fixed by breaking the task down until the starting point is so small there's no friction left to escape from. Pre-sleep loneliness doesn't get fixed by a phone ban. It gets fixed by building more real connection into your actual life so the loneliness isn't as loud when the lights go out. Late-night emotional avoidance doesn't get fixed by any app or rule. It gets fixed by being willing to sit with whatever you've been running from long enough for it to lose its power over you. This is harder than deleting Instagram. I know that, but it's also the only thing that actually works long-term because you're solving the real problem instead of just making the symptoms slightly harder to access. Here's exactly what the first 2 weeks look like. Week 1, do the 5-minute sitting exercise 3 times a day, every day, no exceptions. Don't try to use your phone less with willpower at the same time. Just do the exercise. Also, spend 10 minutes one evening this week writing down honestly when you scroll most and what it gives you in those moments. Not to judge yourself, just to see it clearly. Week 2, take what you wrote and design one specific replacement for each scrolling moment you identified. Make the replacement something that genuinely addresses the underlying need, not just fills the time, and keep doing the sitting exercise every day. By the end of 2 weeks, something will have shifted. The automatic reach for the phone will be weaker, not gone, weaker. And more importantly, there'll be a tiny gap between the trigger firing and the behavior happening, a split second where you actually notice what's about to happen. That gap is everything, because in that gap, there's a choice. In the moment you can choose, you are no longer being controlled. The goal was never to never scroll again. That's an unrealistic standard that turns you into a failure every time you open an app. The goal is to make it a decision, to get to a place where you pick up your phone because you chose to, not because your hand did it before your brain woke up. That's the whole difference between someone who uses their phone and someone who is used by it. You watch this video because you want to be the first kind of person. So, do the exercise. Today, 5 minutes, 3 times, no input. Sit inside the discomfort and stay there. That's where it starts.